Okay, so just a quick little primer on adjusting the cleats and what it means. So I always try and remind people it's important to remember that your cleat, you have to think of your cleat adjustments in the opposite of what it's going to do to your foot. Okay, so if you're riding and you feel like you want to toe out a little bit more, you need to take that cleat and you need to toe it in a little bit more like that. I mean, that's an exaggeration, of course. If you're feeling the opposite, if you feel like you're kind of being pushed out like this and you're being forced into toe out and you want that foot a little bit straighter, you want to toe in a little bit, then you should toe that cleat back out just a couple of degrees. And then vice versa. So again, if you want the pedal to feel like it's further to the back of the shoe, or to the back of your foot, like behind the ball of the foot a little bit more, what you want to do is actually pull that cleat back. Okay, now it moves the fasteners to the front, and that's where some people get thrown off. This cleat is moved all the way back, so the fasteners move to the front, and then the opposite is true when I move that forward. The pedal is going to be very far forward on the foot, but the fasteners here are to the back of the channel. So easy to get kind of turned around when you're dealing with the cleat, but just remember those think rules. Always think the opposite. If you want to toe in, then toe the cleat out. If you want to toe out, then toe the cleat in, that sort of thing, okay? Although it's not perfect in all situations, there's often very little downside to having the cleats further back on the shoe than compared to further forward. Further forward tends to produce more problems in many people. Having the cleats a little further back, not necessarily all the way back, and this doesn't apply to everybody, but I would say the overwhelming majority of people do just fine with the cleats a little further back rather than a little too far forward. When I have people come in with cleats all the way forward, they'll have many more issues, many more problems. As far as rotation, we talked about establishing the center line of that cleat. But what you can do is begin by bisecting the cleat. You can, find the center point here at the top and then a center point here at the bottom, and then that will help you line your ruler up. And I like to look at where is this ruler pointing towards on the shoe up here. Try and imagine what toe is it pointing towards. And what I would recommend is, as a starting point, having that cleat point towards just to the inside of the center line of the shoe. Just barely to the inside is a pretty safe starting place for many people. You can see I marked the center line of where the center point of where the cleat was pointing towards, and it is in fact just to the inside of the center line of the shoe.